right, guys, we are pulling in to Waterworld Air Force Base. That is right, we've just arrived. It was a 3-hour drive in the Humvee. Not too bad, though. This thing is a little uncomfortable to drive, but it is kind of cool. Anyhow, we're pulling in today, guys, and what's on the list is we need to be moving 4 F-35 jets on over to the new U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. That's right, we've officially got a new water division, the Navy. So I'm excited, but there's a lot of work to do to get this new aircraft carrier up to running. So anyhow, let's head over to the Air Force Base. We'll check out all the jets, and we're going to be flying them on all over today. So we need to put on our suit and everything before we're going in the sky. We've got a runway, takeoff, and landing. So we got to check that out, make sure we got the right one. And then we got a few helicopters we got to take over as well. A Blackhawk helicopter, and we've also got a cool custom helicopter that you probably haven't seen before. So anyhow, here's all the F-35s. They're all lined up pretty cool. And yeah, these things are nice, guys. The cool thing about them is they come fully armed here. We got all the missiles on the front. We got right here is where you pilot it from, which is pretty cool too. Look at the front end of this thing. You get a pointy thing on the front. I think that helps with aerodynamics or the wind or something. This thing is very stealth, and it's a very, very expensive jet. So let's go ahead. The first thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to throw on our suit, and then we're going to run through our checklist and check out which ones we're taking today, because there is a few located out here. We're taking 4. I would assume it's these 1, 2, 3, 4, but we got to check them all, make sure it's the right ones. With the tail number here, H27, 26, 25, and 24. Okay, so it's this one, and these two. Okay, so those 4. Perfect. Let's throw on our suit. All right, boys, I think we got our outfit all set. We just picked out our sunglasses here, but I think we're going to switch to the Pit Vipers today. We're going to switch it up a little bit. But the suit's looking good, guys, so we're all ready to go into the sky. We'll be doing about 1,000 miles per hour, just our cruise speed, until we get off the coast of Waterworld where this new aircraft carrier is located. So it's going to be pretty cool. It'll be probably our first time landing on an aircraft carrier. And by probably, I mean it is. So it could go good, it could go bad. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's go check out the first one here, and we'll see how we get this thing running. So here we go. Let's jump up. All right, and click this button. It should open. All right, we're in. Check it out. Jeez, this thing's actually a little older than you would think. It's 10 years old. It's been sitting here, but you get all your updated navigation and fire it up. Here we go. All right, it's running. Check that out in the back. So it looks like the jet is ready to go. Pretty sweet. And if you guys don't know, this one has got complete vertical lift, meaning it can go up and down just from the thrust right here. It's pretty cool. Most jets, you just have to take off. So we don't even have to use the runway, but we're still going to use it to get some speed. I need to practice my takeoffs here. So this is the runway right one, and this is where we're going to be taking off. So let's line it up on the runway, and then we'll have our go ahead. All right, boys, we made it to the runway. So we're going to rate it into air traffic control, and they're going to let us know if we're ready to go. You heard them. We're clear for takeoff, boys. Here we go. Send it. And we're off. Look at this thing go. We're gaining speed. We're doing 65 right there. All right, we need some more speed, boys. About another 50 miles an hour. We'll be taking off here. There we go. We got liftoff. Up, up, and away. There we go. Landing gear is a go. Look at that. All right, folds up nicely. And we're starting to move along here, boys. You can actually see the aircraft carrier in the distance. That thing is massive. It has to sit off the coast because it's too big to bring into shore. And also that thing is nuclear powered. That's right. It doesn't have a gas engine or a diesel engine. It's nuclear powered. So it can go on and on and on without needing to refuel at all. It takes years and years to run out of fuel, which is pretty interesting. But this is going to be our first landing, and we're not going to be able to do the vertical lift. We're going to have to actually land this thing. Just judging by the tailwinds right here. We don't want to bring it down like a helicopter. We might actually go into the wind. We're actually going to go about 1.5 miles to the left before we line it up for the aircraft carrier. We have to have a perfect approach because, as you guys know, the runway there is not the largest runway you'll see. So yeah, we got to get it right the first time, and if we do mess up, we have to give it full thrust and pull up immediately. So anyhow, I think we'll be ready to spin around here any second. All right, boys, we're making our approach here. We're going to rate it into the air traffic control on board the Navy ship. So we got to let them know that we're coming in hot, boys, and they got to catch us so that they can slow down this aircraft. So here we go. All right, they said we're all clear. Let's bring this thing down. Here we go. We're coming in hot, 150 knots. Oh, geez, touchdown. All right, they caught us. There we go. All right, we made it on the ship, so this is perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go underneath the Navy ship because there's a whole elevator for aircraft. It's going to store this thing when it's not up here on the upper deck, we call it. So we're going to actually position this thing onto the aircraft elevator, and this is pretty neat. We're going to show you something you probably may have not seen. So Here we go. Let's go ahead. We're going to click the elevator button. It's going to drop the aircraft down. Let's jump aboard. And then there's going to be a giant door that we're going to be opening to store this aircraft underneath the upper deck, which is pretty good because if there's ever rough seas or winds or anything, we can store them under here without them getting damaged. So check out this heavy duty door. This is insane. It's about a foot thick, maybe actually 2 feet, which is pretty crazy. So now that we got the aircraft fired up, we're going to go ahead. We're going to rotate it. The nice thing about the F-35 is this thing's got that vertical lift engine, so it's really easy to maneuver. There we go. We're going to kick it into gear. All right. And then we're just going to spin it around real quick. We can't have it running too long since we are in an enclosed space. So we're going to park this one right there. Oh, geez, it's idling down. That thing is loud. Oh, my gosh. You can hear the turbine. All right, guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually close the door up. When the elevator's above deck, that door has to be closed because, you know, when this elevator's up, this is kind of where all the waves are going. Now, we're going to take the elevator back up just like this. And there we go. We got the first aircraft aboard. And that's going to be the only other aircraft underneath of the aircraft carrier. So let's head back. We got 3 more to pick up and then 2 helicopters. And then we'll be all set up today. All right, we're going to make this a little bit faster than usual, guys. Like I said, you don't have to use the runway. We were just doing it to get practice in. But check out that. With the vertical lift, this thing takes off no problem. It's got the thrust underneath the plane, which is pretty neat. So anyhow, we're going to actually go all the way to the left here as soon as we took off. Since the runway is heading that direction, we're actually lined up perfectly now. We're going to take an immediate right-hand turn. We're going to come in sharp about 250 knots. And then we're going to land the bird about 150, and then we'll be clear. So we're actually going to radio it into the air traffic control aboard the aircraft carrier. Let them know that we're about 5 minutes out, probably maybe 3 minutes. Depends on how fast we'll be going. Right now, it says we're doing 700 knots, which is very fast. So, all right. See you guys when we're about to make our approach. Copy that. Coming in for a landing here. This is H-34, and we're about to land the plane. Make sure you guys are prepared, ready to catch us. Over.
Roger that. We'll be all clear for you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, General. All right, guys. Here we go. We're landing in about T-minus 1 minute. So let's go ahead. We're going to drop the landing gear down. We are prepared. We actually have 4 different parts of the landing gear, both on the wings, because this thing needs to have stabilization when it's landing. It is very heavy. And then we got one on the bottom. It's a double wheel. And then the front single one, which is actually a steerable one. So here we go. We're coming in a little bit low altitude. Let's go ahead. We're going to hit the flaps right there. All right. Looks pretty good. Very carefully. I think we're landing perfectly. Look at that. Straight on. All right. That was a great landing. I do have to say that's the best one yet. And where this is going to be parked up aboard the aircraft carrier is right to our right. So let's go ahead. We're going to back it up with the thrust. There we go. Looks good. Right there should be good. So we still have a clear runway too for planes incoming and taking off. So we can park them alongside here. That'll be perfect. All right, let's go grab the next 2. We're going to get those on over here, and then I'll meet you guys when we're bringing the helicopter on over. All right, we've got the last jet we're taking it over, number 4 here. We're going to fly through a low pass through the city. And we're going to see if we can create a sonic boom, which is that super loud noise. Yeah, we're going to do our best, but we're going to do a low flyover, and it's probably going to scare everyone. So here we go. We're flying over all the apartments right now. Check it out. This is actually pretty low. We'll probably pull up a little bit in altitude so we don't break their windows, but we're doing about Mach 1 right now, which is 1,000 miles an hour. And here we go. We're going over the hotel. There we go. Fly over low pass. Look at that. And now we're high up in the sky. Check it out. We're flying by the mountains right now. Pretty good view. And we're going to line up on the opposite direction of the aircraft carrier. You're able to land on either side you prefer. You just got to let air traffic control know so they know which way to stop you from. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and line it up here. We got all the other 3 jets there. There's actually another helicopter that landed while we were currently picking this one up. And then that's our transport helicopter. That's how we keep getting back and forth. But we're flying in here, boys. We're making an immediate left-hand turn. Check it out. We're leaning here, boys. Jeez, we're going like perfectly vertical right now. This is sweet. All right, let's level it back out here. There we go. All you got to do is just let off the throttle and you can level it back out. But we're going to fly by and we're going to make an approach here. There we go. All right, boys, landing gear down just in case. Here we go. Let's go ahead and spin it. Watch this, boys. I bet you ain't seen something like this. Oh, this is a perfect maneuver. Look at that. Land it right there, lined up with the other 2. That was pretty sweet. Well, we made it here with the 4th and final jet we're taking it over. But we do have 2 more helicopters to bring it over until this U.S. Navy aircraft carrier is good to set out to sea. And then obviously a bunch more jets are going to land on this while they're en route. While this thing is moving, there are going to be planes that are going to be landing on it, which is pretty cool. So, anyhow, let's head on back to the base. We're going to grab the other 2 helicopters, bring them on back, and then we'll be ready to set off to sea. The first is a Blackhawk helicopter. You can never go wrong with these things. They are definitely good when it comes to low flying, and it's also a very stealth type helicopter. So it's quick too. So it's really good for an evacuation from a mission of any military, army, anything that's going on in another country. This thing is definitely the best for it. And And yeah, twin turbine. Pretty loud too. We're moving pretty good too. About 95 miles an hour right now. We can definitely kick it up to about 130 if we want to. Oh yeah, we're doing a little bit faster now. We're doing about 120. This thing is moving, boys. Here we go, boys. Nice low fly pass by the military base on the water side of things. There we go. That's actually quicker than the jet, but this one we don't have to make an approach, or we don't have to line up our landing or anything. It's pretty simple. We just land it right onto the aircraft carrier. So, all right, let's find a spot to land it. There's another helicopter on this side. So we'll land it right next to that, but already watch this. It's going to be a fast landing. Here we go. We're going to kick the tail end around. We're going to reverse here. There we go. All right. I think right there should be good. All right, the Blackhawk helicopter is made here. So we got 2 Blackhawk helicopters. We got 4 F-35s, 3 here, 1 under on the lower deck. And then let's go grab the last and probably the coolest helicopter I've ever seen. Oh, here it is, guys. The V-22 Osprey. This thing's pretty sweet. And it may look to you like, I don't know. Look at this. These are the actual propellers to fly this thing. It's a helicopter. It's pretty cool. What we're going to do is we're actually going to rotate this thing around. You're going to see how it works. So the first thing we got to do is we got to turn it on. Just kidding. We got to rotate it just like that. There we go. It turns into a helicopter. So that's just when it's used for storage, which is pretty sweet. So let's go ahead. We're going to start it up now. Here we go. Check it out. You got 2 giant propellers. This thing moves too. It rotates actually once you're in the sky, and it allows you to go a lot faster than an average helicopter. There we go. We got liftoff, boys. You get your landing gear here. We're actually going to bring that up, give us a little bit more speed, less drag, and we're off and away up to the aircraft carrier. But check this thing out. It's pretty sweet. You actually got your own drop-down loading, what do they call this? Loading hatch, I think, or people actually jump out of this thing when it's moving in the sky on missions. So I guess you could just say back hatch. That's what we'll call it for now. But we're moving in this thing, guys. We're doing a quick 170 miles an hour right now because as you can see, we're rotated forward. It's got a little bit of a tilt on it. That's why there's this giant windshield so that you can still have a straight vision. But anyhow, we're coming into the aircraft carrier. This thing's gonna be landing on the north end over by the front, the bow of the ship. And I think there's a good storage spot for it there because we already got the spots filled up for the Blackhawk helicopters, and then also all the jets are on the left side. So let's make room for it in the front. We're actually gonna go ahead. We're gonna slow down our speed just like that. Let's rotate it back to level and let's make our approach here with the helicopter. It should go pretty smooth. We're actually gonna bring the landing gear back down. Almost forgot about that. That is a must. Here we go. Let's spin it around. We get the elevator there. We're gonna land it right over on this one just like that, and we got touchdown, boys. Let's go ahead. We're gonna turn it off, and now we're gonna go ahead and rotate the blades all the way back into storage, and that's where we call it for the day. Guys, thank you for watching today's video. If you want to see this Navy ship in action heading out to sea and heading to some other countries on some missions so we can launch these Blackhawk helicopters into the battlefield, guys, thank you for watching today's episode. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.